Hello, welcome to my channel, Seven Pointed Star. I'm Michelle, I'm an intuitive medium, and today I just have a question about have you ever seen or heard a voice outside of yourself? Like someone saying, go sit down. I'll explain that later. Or just no, or don't do that. Or maybe you're sitting down and you see something out of the corner of your eye and you turn your head and there's nothing there and they were there. It's all kinds of, I would say, miracles, we could say phenomenon, but it happens to everyone at some point or time. I will tell you about, well, that wasn't my first experience, but it was my first profound experience of uh spirit just really kind of coming into play. So this was on September 11th, 2001, 2011. Sorry. Yeah, 2001, 2001 or 2011. I would say 2001. Gee, I forgot the date. Can't believe it. Okay. Anyway, um, I was at work one day. I worked in the Pentagon. I was up on the fourth floor, I believe. And so we were all sitting there. One thing I have to go back about that day is this day was the most gorgeous day. The temperature couldn't have been better. The sun was out. I mean, it was a gorgeous day. I remember that morning. I was like, I didn't even want to go into work that day. So anyway, getting back to what was going on, what happened? So they said, "Oh, a plane hit the World Trade Centers." And I was like, "What?" And the neighbor said, "I'll show you on the computer." So he showed me on the computer, and then at that time, a second plane hit the Second World Trade Center, and I was like, "Oh, tower." And I was like, "Oh, I wanted to go tell my friends." So I started, quickly heading towards the door, and when I got to the door, I heard, "Go sit down." That was mild. I heard, "Go sit down." And it was loud. I can't do it. I've got this squeaky voice. So I went over to my desk quickly. I sat down and I'm sitting there and I called my boyfriend at the time. Let's see, I did have a boyfriend. No. Anyway, I called him and I said, plane hit the World Trade Centers. He said, it ain't over. And we got disconnected and I saw my life from birth, like coming out of the canal up to me sitting on the desk, which was really kind of like, wow. So here I'm having, I don't know, what do you call that? The 5 stages of grief, 3 or 4 times during this day. So then my desk moves, the windows start to shatter. It's dark in the room. You hear booms and loud. It was kind of frightening. Someone picked me up or I was walking. I kind of like went into shock. I got out of the building. My mother was very glad. My kids were very glad that I did get out of the building that day. And, it took me some time. I couldn't sleep. So you kind of go through a phase. But the experience was one thing. But what I want to talk about is after that, there were more ghost or spiritual encounters. Um, Seeing them in my mind's eye, or over standing in the room. Before, when I went to sleep, it was in dreams. It was just lots of things. All of a sudden, seeing parts of the future. These things frighten me, or taps on my back, or feeling things coming into my aura. So in 2001, I didn't know about spirits pressing up against your aura or understanding, seeing things in your mind's eye or actually seeing things. So it was kind of frightening. I came from a religious background. I was Catholic, My family was Baptist and Methodist, so you were told you don't see those things, you can't forecast the future. That was like a taboo, and I just had all of these things happening. So I think it was after a while, I just asked Spirit to take it away. It was because I couldn't handle it. Um, and if you have an experience like that and you kind of know what's going on, you could say, "Hey, Spirit, could you kind of hold off or guide me in the right direction to where I can actually learn about this and understand what's going on?" Because sometimes I still, to this day, even though I work and everything else, Spirit talks to me. They talk to me. I don't hear a thing. So they'll go to my daughter, "Would you tell your mom to listen?" So that's the funny thing about life. However, the intuition that you get with a gut feeling, it doesn't mean that you have to be a psychic or a medium. Sometimes they're just things to help you get along in life. Another experience I had was I was driving and the light turned green, and I put my foot on the gas and I heard stop. So I put my foot on the brake, and a car went straight through the red light, would have T-boned me. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, all these things come in. The spirit world is there to help us, they're there to work with us. Although there's some things like you can't say, "Hey, could you come and do this?" or, interfere in our lives. But there are guardian angels, whether it's an angel, an ascended master, you know a name, you don't know a name. It's the phenomenon. What I get out of being an intuitive is helping people, healing people, and kind of working with people, not just the wow factor. It's just to bring that love. You don't know what it's like when you're sitting in a room and someone's loved one comes out, and there's all forms of mediumship, psychic that's out there. There's all kinds of experience. People go ghost hunting. There's houses where people have died, and either they just like living in the house or they just don't cross over. There's ascendant masters. Sometimes they appear. You read some of the books. Ascendant masters are spirits that have walked the earth and they've ascended, like Jesus and Mary ascended, Anna ascended, Joseph ascended that I know, Moses ascended. Saint Germain. A lot of people know about Saint Germain. But it's just that it's great and it's nothing to be afraid of, I guess. Orbs. I'm sure you taken a picture and all of a sudden you see orbs, or nowadays people that have like cameras at their door, they'll see orbs. I got one night. I had a TV on and my camera was sitting there and I logged in, and the orbs was about this big and they were coming at the camera like that, and I was, and everybody's like, "Wow, does that happen in your house every night?" I don't know if it happens now because I don't have any cameras that are like that. But but when I was going through my experience, I had a lot of things and I had no one to talk to. So I kind of had to reach and find a place for someone to talk to. And I've gone way off of my subject because I'm just hearing spirits say, "Hey, talk about this," and we could be here forever. And they're saying, "Don't forget that happened to you." And just like me talking now, me hearing the spirit world mentioning what I should talk about or things I should bring into the subject, I'm very comfortable with. In 2001, and I heard this stuff, I would be so time, time and acceptance really, really, really helps. And My guides are saying thank you for listening. She's in training. Yeah, Spirit has jokes. I could tell you some of the jokes that the spirit world has. But I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope you like and subscribe to my channel. And there are many discussions that I would like to have. Forecasting, ascendant masters, things, my journey. It's a long journey, lots of teachers. You don't have to be trained, your guides will train you, but sometimes you just do. And sometimes it's just nice to talk to someone who is on the path. So please like and subscribe and come back to my channel and ciao.